We had a summit just a few days ago dedicated to energy. One of the issues on the table there was to try and identify some of the reasons why the market is not always delivering on a number of things energy related, for example, interconnections between countries. What was the outcome in your eyes, and are there any initiatives from the Commission side to try and promote these interconnections?
Well, I think what's good about the results from the discussion among our heads of state is that they recognize there is a huge infrastructure challenge in Europe. That's not just related to modernizing the networks, it's ensuring that our businesses and consumers get competitive energy, and that every country in the European Union has access to affordable and competitive energy sources. And from that point of view, it's very good that they have endorsed the Commission's objectives to try to create a framework for investing in infrastructure which will make it attractive, particularly for the private sector. And what does that imply? It means that tariffs need to be set to reflect investment needs. It means also that regulators need to look not just at their national situation, but the potential for getting better energy into their own economies through interconnection. And also we have to look at permitting procedures. No one wants to reduce the full involvement of all shades of public opinion in developing infrastructures, but if we don't build some of this infrastructure, then we're going to lose out as Europe from a business point of view and from the point of view of our energy security for all citizens. So
consumers will have to take some of the burden, is that what you were saying?
Well, I think the fact is, in the long term, all consumers, businesses as well as ordinary people, have to recognize that when you pay for energy, you pay for the investments in energy. There's no one else to pay for them. The alternative of simply putting it on the tax bill is simply unrealistic in the present situation.
But with the current recovery, which is still only starting, is the timing right? I mean, we know that state coffers are empty. People in general are struggling quite a lot. We're talking about a resurgence of poverty, even suddenly unemployment. Really, the conditions are not the best at the moment, are they?
Well, the conditions are not the best. On the other hand, if there is one priority, even for public budgets, beyond health, education and security, it must be energy, to ensure that people get lighting, heat, all the things which make modern life comfortable for people, but also enable businesses to be competitive on an international level. So investing in the future of our energy capacities and infrastructures seems to us to be absolutely essential. Yes, it could imply higher tariffs in the longer term, but we're talking about investments which are going to be paid back over a very long period. So we shouldn't exaggerate the amount of increase which is required. Nevertheless, it's no use setting tariffs thinking you're pleasing consumers if then you come to a crisis where you have to replace capacity or expand it and you haven't got the funds to do it.
We've heard today during this debate that China is pursuing a very aggressive policy on developing its renewables energy sector. Can Europe actually live up and match that very aggressive policy that China is pursuing, or are we doomed to now be trailing behind?
Well, China and the US, according to most indices, are spending more in R&D and expending more in investment in renewable energy than Europe is, which is something which we should be concerned about, because we thought that we were going to be world leaders through the green economy. That being said, China is also a world leader in installing coal-fired capacities. It's just big. It is not aggressive. It is simply responding to its own needs. I think Europe has to have the confidence for its own convictions to do the same.
But Europe always seems to be fragmented or divided when it comes to this. We seem to be lacking the scale, really.
Well, we've got 500 million people here, which we account for something like 20% of the world's energy demands. We've put a blueprint on the table for finally moving towards an open, competitive, integrated market in energy. We've calculated what the bill is in infrastructure terms. This is something to go for now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.